You're wondering if you're doing it right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, would it
Yeah.
be okay if we just noticed
Okay.
that thing that you do?
Okay. Yeah, I like that language.
You're like curious and you're noticing the answer. You may not say, well, your answer's here, so notice that, but you might
Oh,
be
okay.
curious about that answer. Yeah,
Yeah.
of
Okay.
course. You're wondering if you're doing it right, that thing that you do.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be okay if we just notice
Okay.
that? A lot of
Okay.
wondering.
Okay.
And that's kind of like a cognitive interweave, a little bit. Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of wondering. Am I doing it right? Am I okay? Am I safe?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
we
I
can
love
just let that be here.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that, adding that element of that curiosity still being there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Another, it's very similar. Dad would use this. I wonder if that's the little girl had to do back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 Definitely.
And with clients, I'm really recently, just very recently, starting to notice however their memories were stored. They had to go through things, then they cope. They go through things, they cope. Then when we go back and follow their nervous system and try to retrieve that information, we'll have to go through all these blocks, or we may call blocks, but these are just their ways of protecting themselves, keeping themselves safe. A client has been dissociating for most part of their life. We would get a little bit of material, then it's extended blanks and big waves of anxiety. Then we get to another layer.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that they just had to challenge them. I'm not doing this right. I have to more pressure, more figuring it out on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Now I fix it. Okay, now lesson layers. It's just another way of conceptualizing, allowing me to really appreciate that if that's how the material was stored
Mm-hmm.
through months and years. And
Yeah.
that's going to be how we get to it.
Right. Right. I love that. Helping that, creating that space of exploration. I wonder if this is how you, as your younger self, what you had to do to feel safe. Yeah.
This client reminds me of um, my my sense of working with this client is I would go to the character chart and I would look at what did this client need to hear,
Mm.
and I would probably interweave that in somewhere. You
Okay.
know, probably like you are enough just as you are,
Okay. That would
or
be a really good resource for her.
it's okay to feel safe when you are safe. Just these very deep messages that that child really needed to hear.
Yeah.
You matter just as you are. I mean, like you said, the 5 year old interpreted I don't matter because it's my birthday and they went and voted. Yeah. Well, you know, my activation within me right now is like saying, what a bunch of crappy parents.
Right?
If it was my kid, and I had to vote, I'd vote and I'd have this huge big party because they're so special.
Right? Right?
So I have to take that, bit of entitlement and rage and put it over here and be able to help them come to that conclusion that it wasn't about me.
Right.
I mattered, and I mattered then too. They
Hmm.
just weren't able to do it, you
Right.
know. So that's where the character chart for me is so helpful, not to say, well, sounds like you're a hero or, you know,
Right.
um, but to take a look at what did this person really need to hear and how can I offer that to them to consider. And during reprocessing, it can be extremely powerful when they come up upon that. Am I doing this right? And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, you're enough just as you are right now.
Yeah.
Would it be okay if we just noticed that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I love that with all my soul. That's so good.
It is so good.
So you offer that in as a, yeah, you are enough just as you are. And it's that little cognitive interweave right there. And then it's that, let's just notice that. Let's just notice that thing that you do and just kind of being curious about it. Okay.
I see that as a mini dose of resource right
Mhm.
there where
Okay.
they
Okay.
need it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Great. I love that. Thank you so much for that feedback. I will use that. So how much time do we have left? Yeah.
We need to wrap up soon so we can discuss the assignments.
Okay, sounds good. Then I'll wrap up with this question. Something that I noticed, so we were able to get to a place where she felt comfortable, and it was kind of interesting to see how she kind of blocked with that. Then she does well, right? And then once she was able to feel safe and calm, then the tears came.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful to see that come, right? And then I felt my answer of, am I doing this right, come up when she was crying, because I was like, we were doing eye movements, right, for the stimulation. And my question was like, do we continue? I think I may have asked this before. Do I continue bilateral stimulation while they're crying? And well, how?
I would keep going if you notice it's starting to get too hard. They are rubbing their eyes or
Yeah,
they
she
are
just kind of went.
okay, then it doesn't hurt to offer. Would you prefer to switch to tapping, or are you okay with eye movement? Keep going, and they have a say at that point.
Okay. Okay. So then I do still want to have some kind of stimulation going.
Yeah, you don't want to stop the train. You
Okay.
can switch to tapping. Doesn't have to. The eyes can keep bawling.
Yeah. Okay. So
Remember, the goal is to get to the highest point of that emotion that they need to start healing.
okay.
So I will often even say, yeah, there it is, that pain. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we just let it be as big as it needs to be?
Okay. Yeah.
Like to switch to tapping. Just allow that to be here. Just ride with them. You're on the train, you're riding that emotion. You want to keep the bilateral going if you can, but sometimes people will just have this huge cathartic, and that's reprocessing.
Okay.
Allowing that emotion to be as big as it needs to be until it passes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So, and then I also was wondering about like just hearing it, the tapping back and forth, that still stimulates.
Well, that's why the BLS, that tool, it has, I think it's probably the paid version has the auditory. It's better to have like their earphones plugged in. It's clearly left to right, left to right.
Okay. Okay.
With this, just tapping on your desk, you're not sure how their device is showing the sound. Um, it's it's probably that wouldn't be my guess. It's better if it's clearly
Better if it's clearly bilateral. Okay.
auditory.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, so that's why when you practice the mechanics, you offer. If it gets some point gets too hard, is it okay we switch to tapping on your arms or tapping on your knees, whatever is easy.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes the client gets so exhausted, holding their arms up was too much. And whatever feels okay. Just tap on your knees, tap on your thighs. Yeah.
Can they like tap their toes back and forth or
Oh,
stomp?
yep. I've had kids stomping on me and
Okay.
they get angry walking around the whole room.
Okay. Okay.
Then I'm going to need to finish up because I got
Okay.
another group right after this. So I'm going to
Okay.
cut
Great.
it in because you are just doing it. I just absolutely love the depth of our time together. It's hard for me to stop. Um, so the assignment for next time. So when you have your first reprocessing session, this is the opportunity then for you to go back and do the future desired states with the client. This is in your practice sheets. This is not the future template, so do not do that. This is the sheet that comes right before the treatment sequence plan in your practice sheets, and you go through your 3 present triggers that you got when you did the root under the answer. So this can be confusing, but this is the sequence of EMDR protocol. So yep, Liz has it up. That
Oh,
is
perfect.
the future desired states of the 3 present triggers.
Okay.
Okay, so I recommend that this is the sequence, and we'll put this in your feedback form for your assignment. Acknowledge that now you're going to complete the sequence plan, your treatment sequence plan. And to do that, you want to get their goals of where they'd like to be with these present triggers that have brought them in. So you look at each present trigger and you set their future desired state of how they would like to behave, feel, react when this happens again, or something similar. And you get very specific terms. Well, I'd like to be able to, keep my affect in check and respond. So, yeah, Liz has got that, and it's page 99 of your manual. Thanks, Liz.
Thanks, Liz.
Okay, so you get to, and that shouldn't take very long. All right, we're not doing therapy, we're just setting the future desired state.
Okay.
Then practice your mechanics for your session. Then phase 8. And the thing that's important to note is, am I restarting a memory we have not finished? Or am I starting a new memory? Because at the end of phase 8, it'll guide you which way you go, whether you're starting a new memory or you're restarting a previously worked upon memory.
Got it.
And then do your case consultation form.
Great.
Did I miss anything, Liz?
I just want to say, depends on the time. Maybe you do reevaluation and you wrap up with a resource, or you do reevaluation and you go back to complete a memory.
So watch
So
your time.
the ending is not fixed.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Liz. Really, really great work today. And I could go another 2 hours, but I can't.
Thank you, Linda.
Yeah.
And
Thank you so
both.
much.
Good work.
Thanks, Linda.
So you'll get your feedback form within the next week, and it'll have your assignment on it, and then we will see you in September.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Thank
Thank you.